Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we are going to be doing a critical Sass. If you are new to my channel, these are my new makeup release videos where I take a look through trend mood and other Instagram profiles that are similar to that, and I go through all of the new things and I talk about them and I discuss whether or not they're worth our time or whether or not they'd be worth anyone's time, and if they're really bad we just kind of mock them. But my channel is generally about loving our makeup collections as they currently are, being critical of new makeup releases, and also being very considerate when we do decide to bring something into our makeup collection, what those items should be. So if that sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. Remember to like this video, and I'm also on Patreon if you would like to support me there. It's been 2 weeks. I do this about every 2 weeks. I have trend mood pulled up. I'm going to start scrolling through trend mood, see what catches my eye. I've already done some scrolling and nothing is catching my eye, which is, I guess, good, but also bad for the context of this video. Here's the first thing I have come across that I feel like is worthwhile for us to discuss. But Bite Beauty is closing. The lip labs will remain open, and it does sound like they are planning expansions of the lip lab. I'm not really sure how that will work. So no more Sephora, no more Kendo brand, but you can still get the lipsticks. I have no idea if the lip labs ship or anything. I don't know if it's like only a client-facing experience, but those are really popular. I've heard really good things about them. I think the trends have been predicting that we are going to see more brands close, but I want to talk about Bite Beauty specifically from the perspective of someone who worked at Sephora. So Bite Beauty was pretty popular before it rebranded, and then it came back from the rebrand and it to little affair in my opinion. So when I give this perspective that I'm about to give you, just keep in mind that I'm talking about this from the perspective of someone who really wasn't watching beauty YouTube at the time and was working actually in Sephora stores. When they were rebranding, they were essentially rebranding to become vegan. Essentially, I think lanolin was the big culprit of the rebrand. Lanolin was the big point of contention, if it was a point of contention for anyone. I really liked the agave lip masks before the rebrand, and then after the rebrand, I didn't like them. But all of this is to say is essentially what happened is Bite didn't really communicate the rebrand to people who are working in stores. So I don't know if they communicated it to their lip lab employees, but they certainly didn't. There was no trickle down information from Bite that they were rebranding. So what happened is they had really small bays. That we had a one bay, so it was kind of on the side. It was just one little small bay of Bite stuff because they didn't really have enough stuff to fill more than one bay at the time, because it was all just kind of lip products before they rebranded. Products slowly start to sell out, and then all we have is this empty bay of Bite product. All of the good stuff is already sold. All of the colors that people were interested in their lip products were already gone. And then I swear to God, it took about a year for this rebrand to happen. People would come in right whenever we started realizing that we weren't getting any new Bite product in. People would ask us questions. We didn't have the answers because Bite didn't communicate to us what they were doing. So people moved on because we were I don't know if Bite's coming back. We don't really know what's going on with the brand. So you start suggesting other things. I will also say, probably to the detriment of Bite Beauty, while they were rebranding, Laneige's Sleeping Lip Mask came out. And that became wildly popular. So the queen of lip masks, the agave lip mask from Bite, was no longer the lip mask du jour, the lip mask of the day, the one that everyone was after. She was no longer that girl. So it was just people had just moved on. And so the rebrand happens. They launched these foundations and all these things, but then no one really cared for the lip products anymore. And that was the one thing people really liked. And I'm talking about that from a client perspective working in the store. I don't know that Bite lip products were as popular online as they were in store, but there was definitely the middle-aged clientele really seemed to like the Bite lip products. And I'm not saying that to be divisive or anything like that. That's just whenever Bite disappeared, those were the clients that were very invested and interested in what was going on with Bite. They came back. Some of the popular shades didn't even come back. And so then we were finding dupes for people, and then they bought the product and they didn't like the product as much. So I do think that was really what happened to Bite. And then I'm sure the pandemic didn't help. And I don't know. I just think that the way that the rebrand was handled and in such a slow fashion is you had some hype, you went away to like try to build more hype. You come back, but so many other brands had launched because, you know, we are and were in this rapid cycle at that point of just like new beauty brands launching because so many people saw the money that they could make in beauty by making beauty products. And not only that, by that time, influencers had started making their own brands too. So it was just like so many options had already come and gone by the time Bite came back from their rebrand, that I just think that's what it was. I did not get on with their complexion products. I know that there are a lot of people who really like their foundation, but I thought their shade range was really bad, especially for the lighter shades, because I thought everything pulled orange, even the cool tones pulled orange. Maybe that was just on my skin tone, but like I like just didn't get on with them. Anyway, while I'm sad to see Bite go, I don't know that I'm like, I think the thing that most people are sad about is the mascara going, which is kind of a problem. Like, right, everyone really liked their mascara. It kind of came too late in the game. Now, the mascara launched maybe a few months after I left Sephora in 2021. And while it's a highly repurchasable product, and that's essentially how I think Benefit thrives, is by having like repurchasable products, is like brow products and mascaras. That was like Bite's only thing that people needed to rebuy all the time, because I do think it's really hard to rely on foundation anymore as like that highly repurchasable product. And I say that because people will buy, there's always a new foundation getting launched, right? So a lot of people want to try the new thing even if they liked something that you had. So it's just the lack of innovation from Bite, and it being a smaller brand and probably not being able to afford really a lot of innovation. I think that just kind of like led them to where they were. So everything's marked down. I don't know how much is left, but if you were interested in Bite, I would suggest move faster rather than slower. Kiko Milano has launched a festival collection, and the products all look like Charlotte Tilbury products, which is really kind of interesting. Like the little quads look like Charlotte Tilbury quads when they're open, not so much when they're closed, but when you open them, they certainly look like Charlotte Tilbury quads. I've not purchased from Kiko Milano ever, but I think I say this every time a launch from them comes into my sphere, is that it's really cute looking, and I probably wouldn't mind having. But does Kiko Milano have any like core products, like, or is it, I've only ever seen them do launches like this, like just like, this is our summer collection, this is our fall collection, but like, do any of these products remain? Like, do any of these products stick around? I'm just curious. I really have no idea. The embossing on the lipsticks is kind of cool. Yeah, I do think that they're, oh, and they also, it looks like they made something that is similar to the Charlotte Tilbury wand, the Flower Beauty wand. I have the Flower Beauty wand on today. However, I did top it with another powder because it lifted my foundation and I wasn't really thrilled with that. Uoma is relaunching their foundation and concealer with no fragrance. The repackaging, it's really cute. It's really cute. It's going to look really cute on display in stores. But like, I don't know, the different color lids maybe aren't going to do much for me at home, considering I may have only 2 shades of a foundation if I'm going to like have more than one, you know? But anyway, I think this is really cute. Love to see the removal of fragrance. I think that more brands should really focus on that. I have no idea. I've never tried this product, so I don't know if it smelled like perfumey or if people just complained about the fragrance being in the product, because I definitely have tried products that have fragrance in them, like in the ingredients list, but did not feel like the product smelled fragranced. So I don't know really I don't know if people were complaining about that or not. Uoma Beauty is a brand that I'm not entirely familiar with. So, but I do think it's great that they are launching. And I also do really think that the new packaging is really cute. Urban Decay is releasing the Naked Family eyeshadow palettes, which are mini eyeshadow palettes. There's a Sin, a Foxy, and a Half Baked. So sometimes I will give excuses whenever a brand releases like a mini eyeshadow palette that's really boring. However, Urban Decay already has mini eyeshadow palettes that are really boring. And I did argue when they released, I think, the Naked 3 mini that came out not that long ago, or some iteration of a mini Naked palette. I said, I see value in this. I do not see value in you launching three of these. I understand that there's a cool tone one, a more neutral one, and like a really warm one, but like the person in the Foxy marketing appears to have a green on their lids. Maybe one of those has like a duochrome shift to green in that palette, but like it doesn't really, I don't know. It's like they're trying to trick us. They're trying to trick us, right? So it's like the Naked palette. However, it's in this bright, bold packaging. And when you look at the shades, they're not bright and bold. But with all this imagery, they're trying to trick us into thinking that these are some very unique, never seen before Naked palette situations. But it's like, no, we've all seen this. We've all been there and done it. What I think could be done from Urban Decay at this point is just like maybe reformulate. And because that's kind of what I hear is like, oh yeah, the Naked formula was really good for its time. And people are like waiting for something new. I don't know. Urban Decay has been off the wagon for a very long time. I really don't know. Like Bite Beauty, I just like, I don't know what people are buying from Urban Decay and like what is their thing that keeps them afloat, because the only thing that I could think of is that I think the people that mostly bought Urban Decay were people who like were not into beauty and like on the internet beauty, right? They weren't into like what we do here on the internet, which is great and valid, but it's just like, is that enough? Because who's buying Urban Decay, I guess is really what I'm brought down to. I feel like anytime I see someone review it on the internet is that like, either they're a channel that reviews as much as they can, so they'll review whatever, or they are someone who receives PR from Urban Decay. But I just feel like I don't know that I've ever seen. The only things that people seem to be sentimental about from Urban Decay, if they still have one of like the original Naked palettes from forever ago, those are the things that people are really sentimental about. But like other than that, I don't know, just it ain't it. Benefit is releasing some blushes with some different finishes. There is the Peach and Golden Peach blush, the Moon Rich Berry blush, the Java Rosy Mocha blush, the Crystal, one can't be you, Strawberry Pink blush, Shelly Butterfly Sunny Willa Pom Pom Terra. What does all that mean? Those are just words, Trend Mood. What I can appreciate is I do feel that Benefit's blush range in specificity has really lacked range. So I do think that this Moon shade and this Java shade are going to look really beautiful on deep complexions. Obviously, Peachin is going to be for someone like me, but like not me, because I would probably buy Moon or Java and wear that as a blush because I really like very pigmented blushes. So that really works for me. That's like my jam. These all come in minis too. So yeah, I think this is I think what I would like to see brands do more of, right? Let's expand on ranges we already have to make them more inclusive, because I think we kind of all collectively have clocked that brands' shade ranges suck and they seem to launch other things before fixing the problems that they already have with their current products. So I'm not mad. Normally, I really kind of write off Benefit very easily. Like I'm just like not interested in Benefit as a brand. However, this is all right. This is all right. I'm gonna let Benefit live on this one because I do think that the shades that they are launching are really pretty. Although the latest shade, for me, does nothing. And then I still don't know what Shelly Butterfly Sunny Willa Pom Pom Terra means. It feels like we got to a certain point, Trend Mood, and we just like didn't fill in the gaps. Now I could probably do my own work, and that's on me to figure out what those mean, but I'm not gonna. Because you guys seen that Trend Mood is sharing like archived products. I think that's actually very cool. Trend Mood also has a lot of nail polish happening, which I'm not opposed to, but just that's not what I'm looking for. What about me? There's like some more stuff from Lady Gaga's House Labs. It's launching on June 9th, which is like really not that far away. It says supercharged clean artistry, so we're going for clean beauty. Interesting. I hope it's just more colorful. I think there's a way to have clean beauty be something that you participate in without, like something that is part of your brand without it being the main selling point of your brand, right? Like why can't you just really make very cool products and not use the ingredients you don't want to use to make them clean, whatever your version of clean is, because there is no streamlined version of what clean is. So as long as the products are very interesting. I'm like, now I'm a little bit nervous because like we're just like clean beauty. Okay, is it going to be interesting and clean, or is it just going to be clean beauty? Is it the same thing but with different ingredients in it because we're not selling it through Amazon? What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Only time will tell. I'm like half following. Like, I'm not really following the journey of Haus Labs with any kind of interest, but like I sort of am, you know, like I'm like thinking about it. Like, just like, I mean, it certainly is something that's happening. MAC is doing a collaboration with Stranger Things. I only ever watched the first season of Stranger Things. I have no idea what happened after that. I don't even know what season they're on. Also, I feel like it's been a while since I've had a season of Stranger Things. But what do I know? There's 2 palettes. There's like a lighter palette and a darker palette. I think the darker sultry palette is much more interesting. Feels like on branding for the show a little bit more, like whatever the other side is. I forget what like the dark side, whatever the dark side is. It feels like that branding. Like, I mean, I guess that makes sense. There's like a light one and a dark one. The light one just is like, isn't appealing at all. I haven't really played with MAC eyeshadows other than the single shadows. I've never like had a MAC palette to play with. I mean, these kind of just like miss me in interest general, like the IP, not really interested in. MAC, I can be vaguely interested in. I do think every now and then they like do something. You know what we never saw like the follow-up on? Remember whenever they released like a contour, like a gray contour shade in a palette, and then they were like, more shades to come. Did we ever get more shades? Did that ever happen? Anyway, does anyone know what I'm talking about? I talked about it on I think on my live stream, like the only live stream I've done so far. I think I talked about it on that live stream. Anyway, I don't care about like lip glosses or whatever. The only thing I really thought was exciting from MAC that I own was like they made these rock and roll lip glosses, and they had like duochromes in them. They were really pretty. So, I mean, this really isn't my zhuzh. What do you guys think of this? Like, is this boring to you? Is that boring to you? Like, is that collection boring? It's very boring to me. Another brand I'm not super familiar with, Dominique Cosmetics is releasing the Wide Awake Full Cover Concealer in 17 shades. A full coverage concealer in 17 shades. Don't try to tell me that's adaptable. You know what I mean? Like 17 shades. Okay. And then the Smooth and Blur Translucent Setting Powder infused with hyaluronic acid. Who cares? Our setting powder locks in moisture and keeps your makeup in place without clogging your pores. A hydrating matte finish. You had me up until matte finish. Comes in 2 shades, $22 each. I wonder how much product is in them. That's like really not that. That's really a cost-effective price. And then they're releasing a beauty sponge, but who cares? I could be interested in this powder. I'm not in a place to buy powder right now. I'm just not. I really like the Chantecaille blurring powder. I have not even hit pan on one compact, and I have a backup of it. And then as far as loose powder goes, I'm just trying to get through what I have before I start buying anything. Maybe after I have another Laura Mercier translucent setting powder like as a backup, and I'm using a Pat McGrath powder now. Well, I think once the Pat McGrath powder is completed, I might then seek out different powders. But for now, I'm good on powder. The concealer, I mean, I'm kind of interested in, but like maybe I need to see the full range before I like make any calls. But like 17 shades just like doesn't. You say that number and I'm like, I would like, you know, maybe 30, but I don't know. Who am I? I know that Dominique Cosmetics is a smaller brand, so that is probably likely the reason that they would give. So I do want to see the range. Like I want to see the range of shades. I want to see the lightest to the darkest and how far that goes. But whenever you start saying like medium to full coverage, unlike brands like what Say tries to do, or, you know, Chantecaille will try to say with their Future Skin Foundation is like adaptable shades. I just think that's like the more coverage you have, the more untrue that would be. But they didn't even claim that. But I already feel like, you know, just anytime a complexion range is launched, there's just issues with the range, just in general. Like, it's always going to be said. Like, I don't know that anyone could safely launch a complexion line and be like safe. I just like don't think that that's a thing that can happen anymore. But we will see. Generally curious about this, but very likely is not something that I would bring into my collection. Chantecaille is releasing like a summer collection. So the Sunbeam Cheek and Eye Shade. And then they also are releasing 2 lip products. Now, what this looks like to me is that they made a glowy bronzer for people with light complexions. So people like me, people with like fair to light skin tones. But then, as to not be exclusionary, what they've decided is to call it also an eye shade. So people with deep complexions who would never be able to wear it on their cheek will wear it on their eyes. Now, listen, I love me a Chantecaille product. I own some Chantecaille products. They're very high performing, very lovely products of what I've tried, except I do not like their lip products. I thought I tried a lip cheek or a lip veil. I'm not sure which formula I tried, and I thought this is really trash, and I really actually didn't like it at all. I like their face powders. Like I just said, I have a face powder. I have a backup of one of their face powders. Am I interested in this? Yes. But do I think this is like a release? Like, is this like a release that anyone should be particularly excited about? No. No, it looks pretty. But it's just like, why only one? Why only one shade? And if it was just an eyeshadow, maybe I would have less of a problem with it. But they're trying to sell it to a cheek on a cheek. It looks like it's going to be the size of a cheek product. That's a big eyeshadow if you're just using that on your eyes. Oh, that's all I'm saying. Like, what the fuck? I'm just like, what the fuck? I have seen people starting to review these already, so I must be like getting back in the days. So Charlotte Tilbury launched the quick and easy makeup kits, and they have like cheek products, an eye product, and a lip product in these like cigarette compacts. Now, I was never a smoker, but I always thought that smoking was like a very cool act. Like I thought people who did it looked really cool. Cigarette marketing really worked on me. I was like, man, I am not cool because I do not smoke. And I obviously know that is not the case now. I'm a full ass adult. I'm realized, but I do find something very appealing about this packaging. However, whenever I saw Michelle Wong do an application of these, there's no lid on them. So they have to be stored in this thing, which I like get it, but I also am just like, oh, I don't know. Is that really how I want to carry them around? If they were just like 3 minis, but I get it because you're kind of selling it as like an experience. But the truth be told, I don't know. Truth be told, I just don't know that anyone's just going to like travel around with 3 things. Like you're still going to carry a foundation and whatever, you know, like, so maybe I could fit the 3 items in my makeup bag, but not 3 items plus the carton. So I do feel like there's maybe like a bit of a missed opportunity there as far as the packaging goes, but I do think that these like are cute in theory. And I think they're like a good idea in theory. Is the execution great? I'm not 100% on that, but I will tell you that I probably will covet having one of those like flip open casey things for a long time, but not so much because of the product inside of them. I just like want one of those, and it would do me no good without the product inside, but like just know that that's what's intriguing to me about this release more so than the products inside. 75 doll hairs. Oh my, you can miss me. Now listen, I spent more money on weirder things, right? But like 75 doll hairs for Charlotte Tilbury. No, I understand that's like kind of well within the realm of the Charlotte Tilbury pricing at this juncture, but all I'm saying is just like, I don't know, $75, Charlotte Tilbury. I don't know. Okay, I have exhausted trend mood. I'm going to go to makeup release radar. Update. I will post this picture up here because I went to makeup release radar, and then they have a picture of literally all of the blushes. Benefit is releasing like, that was all blush shades. They're releasing 12 blushes. And I believe these are not, they're not already in their range. Beautiful, incredible. Even better than what I already praised this release, but like even better, honestly, even better. Nabla is releasing the Angel Aura. It's a face serum primer which gives a radiant finish and creates a plumped and lifted result. Designed to prepare the skin before applying makeup and help the base last longer, Angel Aura makes the face a compact, smooth canvas thanks to its functional ingredients and acts both on skin firmness and texture, providing an immediate effect which also lasts over time. Ooh, well that sounds like a primer that I would like to try. I like all of those things. And the packaging is really pretty. I have not tried Nabla. Is Nabla going to give me? No, because the next primer I want to try is the Victoria Beckham primer. And I just need to satisfy that itch. And I know that until I do, I will always be curious. So I just need to do that. I need to do it for me, and I need to do it for all of you, because I feel like when I mentioned that, a lot of you are very interested in the idea of me trying out the Victoria Beckham primer. And I am very interested in the idea of trying the Victoria Beckham primer. So anyway, this could be on the list. I would love to, while this is on the back burner, this is definitely something that I would be interested in seeing other people talk about. So this is, I think, this is what I get excited about in makeup now. I'm like, oh, a plumping primer with some shimmer, like with some angelic glow properties. Yes, that. LH Cosmetics is releasing the Daybreak eyeshadow palette, which looks oddly similar to Lethal Cosmetics just released like a pastel purple eyeshadow palette not that long ago. Do you guys remember that? I think I talked about it on one of my videos. I remember breezing past it. I think this is really pretty. And if I think you're into purple and blue hues, this would be very pretty. I do feel as though that I have already seen this season. And I understand that color stories tend to come around the same time from all of the brands, but Lethal's palette had more shades in it. And I do believe it's either at a similar cost or only a slightly higher cost, because I know Linda Hallberg is pretty expensive. $44.75 for this palette. I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty, but like not in a way that like, not for me, enough for me to like scratch my itch. And I do think that anyone of my viewers watching this, if you were into purple, I do think that very likely you could take a look at your collection and easily dupe this. It doesn't feel that special. It's like a very pretty color story that they put together, but it's like you don't need to have that in like the Linda Hallberg formula. Unearthly Cosmetics is releasing their All I Ever Wanted Volume 2 palette. I really want to try Unearthly Cosmetics. I just don't know what thing they're going to release is going to get me. I think they had like an autumn palette that I really liked the look of. And it was actually on sale recently, and I thought maybe I'll just snag it. But like eyeshadow is just the toughest sell for me to want to spend my money on anymore, because while I can always find a new formula that I like, I'm very comfortable with the formulas that I like and have a lot of now. Like I really like the way Natasha Denona's formulas perform. I like, for the most part, I like Pat McGrath formulas, but like Natasha Denona is like definitely my favorite formula. I really like Viseart. It's like most of my collection is those, and Natasha Denona and Viseart. All of my pans are removable. I can move them around, make my own palettes with formulas that I like. So that's kind of where I'm at eyeshadow wise, which is why I like when an eyeshadow palette catches my eye, it feels like much more special to me, which is like the only one that I'm still thinking about is the Nocturnal palette from Glaminatrix. That's like the only one that sticks in my mind as like, I would still consider buying that one. Half Magic Beauty, which is the makeup artist from Euphoria's new brand. I am in general just I've looked at it. We're getting some rhinestones. And what's interesting is that seeing the artistry being done with these products, very pretty looks coming out of the using these items. But what's interesting is when I look at the items, when I look at the makeup marketing happening here, they don't inspire me to make those kinds of looks, if that makes sense. Where it's just like, well, oh yes, these are certainly pretty looks that I'd be very interested in trying. I don't think I want to do it with these items, which there is a problem. That in itself, that's a problem. That is a problem. It's one of those situations where like, I don't need to be the one to review this, but I'm interested in hearing how it goes for other people. Like the single eyeshadows, or was that what those are? What are those? Like the thing is, it's really hard to figure out. 2 Light Trap Duochrome Glow Powders is $20 a piece. Again, I need to see someone else do like a really comprehensive review of this, but none of this speaks to me in a way where like I don't want to be the guinea pig for this. Like I would be the guinea pig for that Nabla primer. Like that's something that I would buy and enjoy. This does not, this one, it's just not speaking to me. Surratt really did me dirty. I saw imagery of this new Surratt release and I was like, oh my God, what is that? Are those like just like a bunch of like topper eyeshadows? Well, you know, I go to read what it is, It's a lip balm palette. Boo. Tomato, tomato, tomato. A lip balm palette. If you're a working makeup artist, 100%, this is definitely something that I could see adding value to someone's kit. Me? Literally no. Milk is releasing the Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. Of all the brands to release this product, a product like this, Milk would have been the last one I would have expected to do this ever. Because it's just like so opposite of like their brand. Like their brand is like healthy skin glow. And then like a mattifying primer. It just doesn't seem to go. Anyway, maybe the formula is beautiful. I haven't seen it come up. It's already released. So I'm curious. It's not something that I would buy, but like I mean, the packaging is pretty sleek though. Like the matte black with the shiny black being the lettering. That's sexy. Just even imagining this on a Bay of Milk product. This is such an outlier. Just visually, an outlier from the rest of the brand. So I'm curious. Are they going to do some like more full coverage stuff, more matte stuff? Very, very intrigued by what this could potentially mean from like future releases from Milk. And I know and I understand and can appreciate that I'm reading a lot into like a one item, but like I'm going to wrap this up here. This will be my last item. I'm not going to say this right, but Odin's Eye is releasing their Solmane. I just watched Annette's Makeup Corner do like 5 looks with this. Actually, like all of it's pretty. So not only is there an eyeshadow palette, which I think is really pretty. I don't think it's anything that as I just stated, eyeshadow is a hard sell for me. And also I'm not super interested in pastels. However, having tried Odin's Eye, those deeper shades, those really appeal to me because I really, really like that sooty shade that came in the Angelica palette. That was like so pretty. That was like one of my favorite eyeshadows I've like actually tried in a really long time. But like that specific matte eyeshadow was like, this formula of this eyeshadow is like it for me. So the eyeshadow palette's really, really pretty, but I think if you're into these colors and you have a lot of these colors, easily dupeable. It'd be really hard for me to dupe this out, but this doesn't inspire me. But I do think it's pretty. Like, do you know what I mean? Like where it's just like, I can appreciate the beauty and glamour of this without wanting it. The blushes and the blush toppers though, they got me fucked up. They're really pretty. They're all really pretty. They're so pretty. They are like the right kind of shades for me. Even that pinky one kind of pretty. And like I don't love pink blush, but they all look really pretty. The highlighters, they're like duochrome highlighters. I certainly don't need them, but it is kind of inspiring to me to see like duochrome highlighters come back about. And I have some duochrome highlighters and I'm like, well, I should give those a little bit of love after seeing those. And then they also released eyeliners, which, well, I really appreciate Coffee Beauty sending me those eyeliners when they did. Eyeliner in general is like not a thing that I am like ISO all the time. Like it's not a thing that gets me hype. So, but it does seem to be a very beautiful range of colors. If you are like into colorful eyeliner, I think maybe you could potentially be interested in it. I just think this is like a really beautiful collection. So like Kiko Milano's earlier, like this is like a collection. And then when you look at Chantecaille, it's like, here's an eyeshadow or a bronzer. Not that I need all of the brands to release so much makeup all at once. It was really nice to see something so cohesive and it was just like all one thing with the blushes and the highlighters and the palette. The eyeliners seem to be like a separate thing that just happened to be releasing during this, but those 3 things, like the blushes, the eyeshadow, and the highlighters, they just like, they go. Like there's a thing happening there. There's branding where we can see it. I don't know. I love that. I love that. And I can only imagine having received an Odin's Eye package, what the packaging of receiving this would be like if you bought this collection. Gorgeous, stunning. That's all I imagine because they really impressed me with the way they sent that to me the first time I bought from them. Odin's Eye, while I don't think I'll buy every collection from them, I'm excited to always see what they're doing, which is fun. I think we're going to wrap up the video here. If you are new here and you enjoyed today's video and you made it all the way to the end, I would love to have you subscribe. You clearly, you were like, oh my God, I like them. And like, I like you. So why don't you subscribe and stick around? If you haven't liked the video already, make sure you do that before you leave. And again, I'm on Patreon if you'd like to support me there. Everything on my face is going to be linked down below if you are interested in knowing what I have on my face, if you want to seek it out. If anything I have down there you are interested in buying on, whatever, you can. Those are affiliate links. Do it, you will, down in the description box. And yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's down there too. You can figure it out. The description box, the holder of all of the information. But anyway, until next time, remember to follow your haute and you will find me. Bye. Surratt.